Hi guys, welcome back to another drawing video or sketching in my sketchbook video, and this one is special because it's the final page in my sketchbook and it's the first sketchbook that I've ever finished in my whole life. In fact, I've never even come close to finishing a sketchbook before, and that says something that I'm close to turning 30 and I've been doing art for a living for the last 7-ish years and I've never finished a sketchbook. And it's not even because I do so much digital art. I don't even do sketches like digitally, like I don't keep a digital sketchbook. And back when I did do a lot of traditional art, I also didn't do sketching. I never got into the habit of doing it, which probably isn't great. Like it's not a good habit to not have as an artist. Not a good habit to not have. I feel like my double negatives probably cancelled each other out right there. But you know what I mean. You should have a habit of sketching, really. But the thing with me is that the times when I do sketch, because obviously I sketch before drawings, but the thing is I only sketch the sketch for that specific drawing. I don't do really color compositions or explore things, and obviously for every comic page I do a sketch for the page itself, which takes several hours per page. But I don't explore other subject matters. I only sketch the thing that's happening in the comic at that moment. I don't do let's say I want to learn how to draw castles or jungles or something else like that. I don't know how to draw those because they haven't come up in my comic, so I haven't had the quote-unquote chance to draw them. And if I did sketching on the side, I could just draw a jungle if I wanted to just learn how to do it, but I don't, because I'm just never do sketching. And I don't do like life drawings, or I guess online life drawings, basically ever. I've done it a few times digitally, like telling myself I need to do life drawing. It's like a core part of learning poses and anatomy, and then I will sit down and do it digitally for like 3 hours twice a year, which is not good. You should do it every week. And yeah, that's another thing that I haven't been doing ever because of the lack of sketching habits, and just color compositions and exploring different lighting scenarios or expressions or hands or feet or different textures and different ways of inking, like all that kind of stuff that I won't do when drawing my comic, because I don't want to, I can't do a lot of experimenting in the comic, because then if it doesn't turn out well, people will complain. And every now and then I do a little bit of style exploring in the comic, like trying something else, and then people are like, I hate this style, please go back to your previous style, and then I'm like, I'm sorry. And that's not a good thing to do in, I guess, what's the word, customer facing. That sounds really clinical, but yeah, I guess customer facing artwork. That's the kind of thing you are supposed to do in your sketchbook. And yeah, another thing that would be nice to do. But yeah, and another thing that has really bothered me about my lack of exploratory sketching, I think is a good way to name it, is the lack of a visible trail of my comic development. Because I do so much of my story building and world building and character planning in my head that I have practically no sketches that document the birth of my comic, which isn't the end of the world, obviously, in the sense that planning in my head works for me fairly well, and things have obviously turned out well in that regard, and there's no acute need to start planning everything on paper. But the thing is that I really like looking back at the few conceptual pieces for Stand Still, Stay Silent that I do have, and just remembering step by step how I came up with everything in the story, especially the parts that changed or were left out from the actual comic are like super interesting, and I like seeing them and just suddenly remembering, alright, that was an idea I had, and then it turned into this thing and then into that thing, and I completely forgot I even had this part in the development. And what I have right now is just a few scattered sketches here and there with these huge gaps in between, where I remember that I did a lot of work in my head, but I just didn't draw any of it down, so it just lives in this ethereal plane where I can see it, but I can't share it with any of you guys. Like, I can't show my the weird stages of the comic when the story was something completely different and awkward and maybe not that great. Which is fun to share after the fact, like seeing the parts where it was a really weird story, or not maybe weird, but not what it is right now. So yeah, that's the thing that makes me sad. It's almost like in archaeology you have like the bones of dinosaurs, and you have these huge gaps in between different eras of like hundreds of thousands of years, and they're like, oh, you have this dinosaur bone, and then it obviously developed into this other dinosaur, but you have to like guess what happened in between. And that's how it is with my sketches for my comic. Dinosaur bones. Yeah, that's how my sketches are. And also I really love seeing the sketches and idea concept drawings of other artists whose work I enjoy, and just seeing the trail that lead to their finished pieces or their comics is it's so interesting, and I feel like those are the pieces that you can learn from as another artist. And like, I learn from other people's sketches, just looking at them and being like, oh, that's how you come up with these things. And especially if they're kind of ugly sketches, then it makes you feel better about your own stuff. And yeah, I wish I had more of that to share of my own. And it's also the kind of stuff that it's really fun to put into the back of books, like my comic printed books. And yeah, I don't have a lot. That's why I have to always take a little bit of time when I do make physical books of my comics to like draw stuff for the back of the book, because I don't have anything interesting to put in there that's like old stuff. I have to draw new stuff for the back of the book, and it would be way more fun if I could just grab a pile of concept sketches and be like, oh, look at this guy, this thing, guys. That was a weird sentence, but yeah, I want to do that in the future, because I love that kind of stuff in the back of comic books, like the sketches of stuff and character concepts and how they looked like before and everything like that. And yeah, it's so interesting. and I'm sure you guys would agree that it's like a great treat to have in the back of a graphic novel. So basically, the point of this ramble is that I really want to make a habit out of sketching. It's never been a habit, it doesn't come natural to me, and I'm going to have to force myself to do it. And it was one of my goals this year to finally force myself to start. Because I always do the thing where I tell myself, oh, I wish I was doing this, and soon I'm gonna, or not even soon, eventually I'm gonna have the time to make it into a habit and just do it 1 hour a week, and then I just never start. And this year I decided I will start, and I will force myself to make it into a habit. And I can't say I've managed to make it into a proper habit yet. It's very much I have to force myself to do it still. But I started this summer, and I have managed to sketch at least 1 hour every week, I think, since summer. And the result of that is that I have now filled up this first sketchbook of mine. And it's not a very long one. I think it's like 30 pages, maybe. Yeah. So I guess it's wait, how many pages? I think it's 30 like blades. What do you call it? Like sheets of paper. So I guess it's like 60 pages then. Oh, I don't even know. I think it is, but it's not like a 100-page sketchbook. But it was still a challenge for me. It took a while to fill it up, but I'm very happy with it, and I will of course make a what's it called? A sketchbook tour? Yes, eventually, or soon actually. I am planning to do it next week, unless something comes up and I won't have time to do it. Shouldn't be too difficult though, like it's not gonna take a lot of time. I'm just gonna sit down, flip through it, and talk over all of the drawings as I'm filming. That's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be my first like live film in the drawing rather than a voiceover. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting to do. Make like a one take filming. If I'm able to do it. Who knows, I might mess it up, and in that case I'm just gonna make a voiceover. But I will try to make it just live narrated. And yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm sure you guys will enjoy it. I love sketchbook tours of other people. They're just the longer the better. If someone posts a 1 hour sketchbook tour, I will watch it. And some of the drawings you guys have seen me do in previous videos, like maybe 4 or 5 of them. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I haven't shown anywhere yet. A few pieces I've shared on Instagram in the stories, but most of them I haven't shown anywhere yet. So it's gonna be a lot of new stuff for you guys to enjoy. But yeah, that's next week. Anyway, thank you all for watching. It was fun drawing this picture, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. And I will see you guys next week for hopefully the tour of this sketchbook. And the link to my comic is in the description, or you can Google Stand Still, Stay Silent, or just 4 SS and comic, like SS comic, it will come up. And yeah, if you want to read my comic. And follow me on Instagram, I guess. I'm humming fluff over there too. And see you guys next week. Bye bye.